here. Hi. Oh, good, Alan. I'm so glad you made it here. Yay.
Yeah, I'm pleased to be here. Yeah.
Yay. Good. And welcome, Alex and Candace and Devaya and Joanne and Tina and blessings. Welcome. Happy New Year. Um, yeah, I'm so glad we're here to really explore the freedom that's available from the First Noble Truth. And we'll be unpacking that today and how that relates to this, what I spoke of in the email, which is resting or mending the heart. Alex! Oh, good. Hi, good to see you. Happy New Year. Before we do that, as is our tradition in our Sangha, we just take a moment to check in with ourselves, to just kind of connect with the terrain of our hearts and minds. So we'll all do that together now. Just you can close your eyes if you want or not. And let yourself just acknowledge, like, okay, I've arrived. And then just allowing your awareness really to like be in your body. What's it like to be in your body? What's it like to be in your hands and your feet? And can you allow your body to be like 5 or 10% more at ease? Softening the skin. And sensing any inner momentum, any way that you might be leaning forward into what's next, what's later. Just kind of sensing, yeah, how much am I here and how much am I somewhere else? And usually just in the inquiry itself, if there's a gap, there tends to be a little, maybe a little bit of closing of it so that you can really arrive more fully here to receive what it is that you're here to receive. And so touching into your, yeah, like, are you happy? Are you sad? Are you angry? Are you afraid? Are you some variation of that? And what is your intention? What is it that you're most wanting to feel or receive from our gathering today? It could be peace, belonging, connection, clarity, community.
Peace and quiet.
Peace and quiet. Yes. It could be peace and quiet. So just sensing what that is for you. And, may our time together today, may our Sangha, may the gathering of our Sangha today serve to guide you towards the deepest connection to the birthright of the knowing of your enoughness. And know that that is to benefit you and all those whose lives you touch. We'll take a nice deep breath in. And as we exhale, you can open the eyes if they're closed. You can blink them open and just orienting to your space. While you're staying in your body, you can look over both shoulders. Right? This never gets old, and then we'll orient to each other. We've been really explicitly practicing this kind of orientation, right? I mean, ever since the inception of Radiant on the Rise, but inside of our sanghas, aside of the sangha, we've been every meeting we orient to our space, and I say it never gets old, and I really want you to sense that, to see through these eyes, to listen through these ears and through this body. When you're in your body, that sense of doing it as you're in your body, it just never gets old. And it's very, very, very easy to forget.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're just like, so there's this reminder right from the get-go of like, okay, this is ground, this is home. This is home. We're not finding anything. You know, we're not getting something that we don't already have in our quest for, meaning, fulfillment, vitality, happiness, peace. But we are doing is intentionally placing our attention in the trustworthy refuge of now. And as we do it, we realize this is quite radical. It's a practice that we come to again and again and again, again and again and again, because the pull, the tug of becoming, the Buddha called it bhavana. That's the Pali word for this tendency that we have to be so immersed and enmeshed and involved in our own becoming. And that this actually leads to suffering. Because this activity of trying to be someone, right? Here we are at the new year, you know? New year, new year, new year, new you. I just kind of want to say, like, screw that. You know, like new year, new you, like just right off the bat, the pressure of becoming. All right off the bat,
I agree.
I'm not enough as I am, right? I gotta be more. This pressure of becoming aggravates, it agitates the heart. And so it's with understanding that hi Marvin, that we explore, the first, like we understand that this causes us immense dissatisfaction, anxiety, depression, stress, right? And so knowing this, we become motivated to try something different. So that's the beginning of our talk. But before I move on, I want to check in with you and go ahead and put into the chat. Yeah, how are you? Like, what are you aware of right now in your body, mind? And what was your intention? What brought you here? Hi, Marlene. I don't think I said hi. As you're doing that, I want to read this to you. I was sharing, as in my email as well that I wrote to introduce today's topic and my classes for this week and such. Yeah, I was reflecting and then sharing on sort of this moment of kind of God, it was like more for me during the holiday of like doing all the things and realizing like, gosh, it was like my heart felt kind of numb or kind of cold, like agitated, like shut down. Like I was like, wow, I don't feel very much like comfort and joy. I feel kind of like the absence of that almost. And this is what really had me as a recent example of me really turning towards my heart and recognizing the suffering that I was creating for myself in expectation. Like it was bad enough that I wasn't feeling so great. But what was more painful than that was this subtle yet thick, dense sense that there was something wrong with me for feeling the way that I felt. And this the Buddha identified as being a this way in which we deny our own hearts in the quest for some place, as Kabir talked about, that will make the soul less thirsty. That there's some place where everything is the way I think it should be. That dukkha doesn't exist. Whenever we're in denial of the fact that regardless of how we think it should be, or regardless of our preferences, we will have agitations, we will have downfalls, we will have, kids who get sick and parents who die and things that happen in our life that suck and hurt and are painful. And we'll have lots of beauty too. Both are true. And if I am trying to exclude the dukkha, create a dukkhaless life, because that's the term the Buddha used for dissatisfaction. It's like part of this existence, part of being human is whether we like it or not, there's dukkha. We will die. I mean, it's right there in our face, Nothing stays the same. Nothing stays the same, regardless of whether we like it or not. Suzuki Roshi said, though you like flowers and you hate weeds, they both grow. He said something like that. Like, it doesn't matter that you like one and don't like the other, they both grow. And so it's in the opening to the acceptance of impermanence and the fact that everything changes. And that we don't like that much sometimes. There's that too. Kind of the acceptance of this predicament that we're in opens the heart to the possibility of freedom. Of the freedom that we think we're going to find by eliminating the dukkha. But it's actually not found that way. And so the First Noble Truth is really so much about a different approach. And so this is from Fernando Pessoa. Beyond the bend in the road, there may be a well, a castle. There may be simply more road. I neither know nor ask. As long as I'm on the road before the bend, I simply look at the road before the bend, since I can see only the road before the bend. It would do no good to look elsewhere or at what I can't see. Let's just concentrate on where we are. There's beauty enough in being here, not elsewhere. If anyone's there beyond the bend in the road, let them worry about what's beyond the bend in the road. That is the road to them. If we arrive there when we arrive, we'll know. Now we only know that we're not there. Here there's only the road before the bend. And before the bend, there's the road with no bend at all. So simple, yeah? It's like when we let life be that simple, it's sane, it's doable, it's workable. And we have so much conditioning around it not being that simple, right? Like we have so much conditioning. You might even think of your own, and how it's even playing out right now as you game out your day, right? Or as you game out your year or your week or whatever it is, your mind's always gaming something out. Making sure that you will be safe in the future by thinking yourself into the future. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Yeah, and so we clearly see that, and that's what motivates our practice. So I want to speak a little bit more before we sit, and we will sit in about 10 minutes or so. I want to speak to the different aspects of our experience that are subject to fluctuation, and this is again part of the first noble truth, which is basically that dissatisfaction, like dukkha, things coming and going, impermanence is inevitable, right? It is inevitable. You will die. That is certain. So will I. There will be birth. That is, it's like there's this birth and death, this cycle that we are part of, and that, again, regardless of whether we like it or not, we are subject to it. And so getting that is inevitable helps us stop being at war with it. As I gave in the example with myself and my heart not feeling very merry over the holiday, the most painful part of that experience for me was the way that I felt like I shouldn't feel the way I was feeling. I shouldn't feel crappy during the holiday time. That was more painful than just feeling crappy during the holiday. Of course, like if the holiday times are different, really. I mean, happy, sad, come and go, just like everything else, whether it's Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or holiday or no holiday or not or whatever, But it was this like guilt, the shame I had over my own internal experience that was the most painful. And you might sense, how this plays out for you too, the way that you take what cannot be controlled so personally, right? It's kind of like the way we take other people's feelings so personally, right? Like as if we're responsible if someone gets mad, if our partner gets angry or our student or our clients are upset with us or something like that. It's like other people's feelings are so easy to take personally and think we caused them. And though it's good, it's essential that we look for our part in everything and anything. Oftentimes we cause ourselves suffering by taking. I've seen my clients and myself the tendency is to take too much responsibility, as if, yeah, it's like whoa. Whoa. So, not your fault that things happen, that shit happens, that dukkha happens. It's just the nature of existence. There are always a million things right and a million things wrong. And impermanence is found in the 5 aspects of our personality. And so in Buddhism, there's 5 aggregates that the Buddhists taught. And I just find, these teachings too to still be really helpful, right, for us now in present moment time. And you can kind of decide for yourself as I go over these. Form. So your physical body, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind, what's perceived through the sense organs is constantly changing and fluctuating. We can even just take a moment with sound, just for a moment together, and we can kind of like Notice how sounds are coming and going. I mean, even the sound of my little space heater doesn't stay the same. There's little shifts in it. Same with your taste, right? You cannot eat chocolate cake for the rest of your life, no matter how much you might want to. Right? Like, yum, it tastes so good, but you can't have it forever. This is comes and goes. Touch, right? Right? Something feels good on your skin, but it won't feel good forever. It will change. Everything changes, or something doesn't feel so good, but that will change too. The sensations you experience in your body. So feeling, pleasure and pain, these also are subject to change. Pleasure and pain. And that's the feeling aggregate. We talked about the form aggregate, and there's feeling. There's also perception. So we have these sense organs, and we put them all together, what we hear, taste, touch, smell, feel, and now we have a perception. I might take you in, and my perception of you might be a joyful person. Someone else next to me might not have that same perception of you because they have a different conglomeration of sense perceptions and stories that they tell, and so perceptions fluctuate. Mental formations, so all of your concepts and thoughts, from the most mundane to the most grandiose, mental formations come and go. No matter how shitty a thought is or how beautiful a thought is, it can't stay. It can't stay. And consciousness. So our awareness of these things, like, it's one thing, they're happening all the time, but whether we're aware of them or not is subject to fluctuation, right? Your mindfulness is imperfect. So is mine. We always fall asleep. Like, there's so many moments when we fall asleep, but then we notice that we're asleep and we wake up. Gosh, I haven't been aware of what I've been thinking, or I haven't been aware of how my heart is. And so I become aware of the aggregates, and that's consciousness. And that again comes and goes. And so to not be with anxiety about just this coming and going is something that we can practice, and we will be practicing together in a few moments for in our sit. But something else I want to say about that is that there's a peace that's possible when we stop kind of extra stimulation of the heart that happens when we are unconsciously, sort of compulsively curating our inner experience. And when we take our hands off the control, like when we meditate and we don't do that, the heart has an opportunity to remember, a little bit of peace. Because even excitement, can be exhausting to the heart. And so resting the heart is paramount to really being able to navigate the First Noble Truth with grace and trust, and faith. So let me ask you, oh gosh, I have slipped out of this practice. Oh, good. I'm reading the comments. Let me ask you, I want to just pause now and look at the chat. And then I also want to ask you what's landing, right? If there's anything in particular that's landing, I want you to put that in the chat too. And then we're going to make our transition to our meditation. So let me get to the chat here. Joanne, need a peaceful heart. Yes. Alan, a return to an intentional practice. Good. Yeah, I'm reading your intentions. Doing great, feeling jumpy and impatient here to reconnect with my Sangha. Yes, Marlene, I miss you.
I
Alex,
I
oh,
can
yes, Candace.
relate to expectation.
Yeah, that really spoke to the thing I said about
Yeah,
expectation.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, 100%, right? Like there's these little subtle expectations we have. I think the more I practice, the more aware I become of them, And I think the expectations we have about how we should feel are probably the most insidious, and painful, and the cause of shame. I love the theme of the week, finding peace amidst
So true.
inner peace. Alex. I think finding peace amidst activity, maybe. Want to calm the busyness. Yes, Anna. Feeling good, a bit excited and nervous. Marilyn, want to practice slowing down my mind. Yes, Alex. I'm doing okay, some calm, some stress. Yeah, I want to reconnect. Okay, good. Okay. Yes. Yes, yes, Marlene. I take too much personally and take too much responsibility. Yes. Good. Sure, identifying that as being a major pain point. Yeah. I really noticed over the holidays and gatherings those that aren't really present and how I couldn't control that. Yes, Tina. I meant peace amidst, yeah. I get good. Divide in this space, getting more clarity about has been present and coming to the surface around other people. Yes. And frustration around wanting to, yes. Good, Devaya. Right. Amidst. Yeah. It's like what I'm hearing here and reading is you're grokking really like how you don't, right, you don't have control over folks, and those of folks and how they feel, like you cannot rob someone of their pain. It's so interesting in the years of coaching I've been doing and mentoring a lot of yogis. This is the biggest pain point that I help people with. Like this thing that we do of we get enmeshed, right? Because we have these big feeling full hearts. We feel a lot. And when we forget our energetic boundaries, we can kind of like go too far over into the other person's experience. And if we're not really clear that that has nothing to do with us, it can really be a challenging. That can be really challenging. Uh, and we can get really, really, really busy in our caretaking behaviors. Yeah? Codependence out there. Cheers. Right? Like, girl. Yeah. So it's just, and we're all a work in progress, but this is how it's like, oh, you're angry and I don't like it. It kind of frightens me in some way. It's upsetting to my heart in some way. And so if I don't catch that, I'm going to get real busy trying to mitigate and calm your upset because it's upsetting to me. And that actually that's like we totally lose ourselves in that. Yeah, and a lifetime of that, we start to think like, who am I? I don't really like even know what I think and feel. Yeah, so um, anywho, I went off on a little tangent, but hopefully that was helpful in some way. Yeah. I can't control how other people. We can feel it, right? We can like compassion is the capacity to tolerate our own pain, and sometimes it's like the pain we feel inside of in the presence of another person's pain, rather than trying to fix the person or lecture them or control them in some way, or give them some like tell them they should start meditating, or I don't know, whatever. It's actually our work to go back to ourselves and to extend compassion to the suffering that we're feeling, right? I'm doing a whole 5-day on this, you guys, in the beginning of February. Right? It's all about working through the fear of rejection, the fear of like, of
I
not
will
being understood
join
or
it.
understanding. So stay tuned for that. Alan, maintaining a separate sense of self. Yeah, exactly, Alan. That's coming right from the therapist. Yeah. Right. That's what I'm talking about. Is when we don't, and empaths, when we're empathic, and a lot of this has to do with CPTSD, it's hard for us sometimes to like get a sense of who we are. That's our work, is an and it's a continual body of work, y'all, especially if you're a healer. It's something we have to like, we're always practicing, lest we right, we bring those patterns into our relationships with our clients, which happens, and it's part of the process. There's other therapists in the house here, so anyway, let's practice together. So if you haven't already, find a comfortable seat. And it's at this juncture that I like to mention that these talks and the sits are freely offered, and your donation really makes a difference. So you can PayPal me, Zelle me, Venmo me. I'm on all the things at Karina Nickerson. So I really appreciate your donations. We have moved the time to 10 a.m. PT on Tuesdays at Tuesdays, but this is our weekly sit, and I'd love for you to come back next week.
I like the new time. 10 o'clock works good.
Oh, I'm glad, Candace. Like I was, it was like this needed to happen for my life, right? But I was, behind the scenes, like, gosh, I hope it works out for you guys too, so it's nice to know that it is. For
Yeah,
some, I'm sure it doesn't work out perfectly for everyone.
Always come.
Yeah.
I will always come.
Oh, good. I like the new time too. Oh, good. Alex said that. Awesome. Okay, so let's sit together. Okay, so if you're in a chair like I am, I just uncrossed my legs, so that could be good for you to do too, and put both feet on the floor. Bring your back away from the back of your chair so that you can really feel part of our work and our practice in claiming our worthiness, right? And in claiming our uprightness is in embodying the backbone. So just getting a sense of the integrity of your spine, kind of feeling into that. And then for the first few moments of our sit here, we're just going to let our attention sort of gather and collect and settle down close to the bone. And to help the attention gather, we'll let our breath be an anchor. Placing about 60 to 80% of your awareness on the felt sense of your inhale and your exhale. Now don't try to breathe deeper. It's really good to notice as you let yourself just breathe naturally that some breaths are short and some are long. Some are jagged and some are smooth. And some are deep and some are shallow. This isn't wrong, this is just the nature of breath. Shoulders can soften. You can soften the evaluative aspect of the mind by feeling your breath sort of adding an attitude of care or friendliness. Feeling the breath and adding a mood or a tone of friendliness. Remembering, I should say, a mood or a tone of friendliness. Mindfulness comes and goes. If we notice, or if you notice that you've lost touch with your anchor, letting this be an example of the impermanent nature of our awareness, of our mindfulness. We can just bring it back, opening awareness to include now various sensations in your body. There might be a softness in your belly or a tension in your neck, or awareness might kind of notice some sensation in your body. You can bring your awareness to that sensation and notice, does it stay the same? Does it get bigger? Does it get smaller? Does it relocate? Coming back to your anchor anytime you need to. You don't have to sort anything out right now, or figure anything out, or game anything out. You can rest here, now. You can rest with whatever you're noticing, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant. You don't have to try to make unpleasant pleasant. You don't have to try to make pleasant unpleasant. But know, oh yes, this is pleasant. Oh, this is unpleasant. We might notice things just start to feel more tight or dense. We don't even have to figure out what happened. We can just relax. Come back to here, now. We have an image or an impression arise in our awareness. We don't have to think that thought. We might have an image of a scene, of something that's going to happen later in the day. We don't have to get involved with it. Some thoughts have emotions sort of weaved into them, a fearful thought, a lustful thought. There's these thoughts that arise. And we can feel them, we can see them, we can notice them. Without getting involved. You can notice what happens. Where do they go? These images, the impressions, where do they go once they're noticed? What happens? Can any thought really stay? Beyond the bend in the road, there may be a well, a castle. There may be simply more road. I neither know nor ask. As long as I'm on the road before the bend, I simply look at the road before the bend, since I can see only the road before the bend. It would do no good to look elsewhere, or at what I can't see. Let's just concentrate on where we are. There's beauty enough in being here and not elsewhere. If anyone's there beyond the bend in the road, let them worry about what's beyond the bend in the road. That is the road to them. If we arrive there, when we arrive, we'll know. Now we only know that we're not there. Here there's only the road before the bend, and before the bend there's the road with no bend at all. Bringing hand to our hearts, just palm down on your chest. As we transition, as we come to a close of our sitting practice, we'll chant the blessings of metta. We'll chant for we, offering the merits of our practice to all beings in the four directions. We'll chant 3 times, taking a deep breath in. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be happy. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be happy. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be happy. Thank you for sitting with me. So good to sit with you. I'd love to hear anything that you're taking with you from our time together today into the rest of your week. Please do feel free to leave a donation. Devaya, so good to be with you. Marlene, Anna, Alex.
It was awesome to connect.
Joanne, yes, Candace. Yes, so good to connect with you. All right, did I get Tina, Sarah Lynn? Welcome, Sarah Lynn. Rebecca's here. Good to see you. And everyone, I love her, Marilyn. Oh, I love you all so much. Oh, good. Yeah, I missed you too. Good. I'm glad. We're going to be exploring the second noble truth next week. So please come. Please come. And same time, 10 a.m. PT. And please, stay tuned for the 5-day that I talked about, right? If this whole thing around, like, you kind of want to work with this fear you have of rejection or fear you have of, other people and their them being mad at you.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing, especially if it kind of gets in the way of you really living a full life, then stay tuned. I'll have more info on that for sure next week. The more love we radiate, the more we will be healed. Oh, 100%. Thank you, Sarah Lynn. I'm so glad you're here. All right. Please do share this with anyone who you think would benefit. And we'll grow our community, and I'll see you next week. You can take yourself off mute and say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, everybody. See you next week.
Bye, everyone.
I will be teaching
Bye.
yoga
Nice
on
to be here.
Friday, not on Wednesday if you're coming, but I will be there on Friday at 4:30. Okay. Bye.